Hello everyone, this is Rohan Meshram, and in this today's demonstration lecture, we will talk about as to how do we work with a NIME workflow environment. Okay, so to begin with, let me first tell you how do we download this NIME workflow environment. Okay, so for that you might want to go to Google. Just a minute, it will get downloaded. Okay, and if you search in Google like using keywords like NIME and download, usually this is the website that you might end up, www.nime.com. This is the authentic website of NIME. So you are supposed to click this download button and you would be then subsequently taken to this download tab. I have already done it. So over here you need to register yourself. It would ask you some information as to from which country you are, what is your professional email ID, or what is your name of the organization. Okay, and if you click this download NIME, then you would be taken to this next page over here, download NIME, and from there you can download you can download NIME as per your system requirement. Okay, so after you download, it would be most probably be saved in your downloads folder. Okay, and this is how you might see it. Okay, NIME 4.4.1 installer, 64-bit operating system. Okay, and it is say about some 547 MBs long. Okay, so the thing is, when now you are supposed to double click it, follow the instructions, and install your software. Okay, so one more thing that I would like to tell you, that NIME might have certain dependencies. Most of it, it was developed in Java, so you might want to first install Java runtime environment before you download and install NIME. Okay, so to do that, there are a lot of online videos on YouTube. I would advise you that you first see that videos and then install Java runtime environment and then proceed for downloading and installing NIME. On YouTube, there are also some good videos wherein you can yourself check it out uh, as to how do you install NIMEs and how do you install new nodes in NIME software as such. Okay, so that is all up to you as to how much do you want to explore. So when you install NIME, you will not be having a lot of nodes out there. Okay, you would have to locate where those nodes are, and you would have to download them in your NIME workflow environment, and then you would work out. Okay, so those things I have already done. Okay, and once you install it, you would get some icon on your desktop like this NIME Analytics platform. If you double click on this NIME Analytic platform, you would open up this NIME environment. Okay, NIME workflow environment. So over once you reach over here, what you are supposed to do is to you are supposed to go to this file. Okay, and you are supposed to add on the click on this new, and create a new workflow. Okay, a new NIME workflow, and hit next. So okay, I will do this for you. Hit next. Okay, and then you can select where do you want to save that workflow. Okay, So let us select it, let it be, local, whatever default value it is, and you can give an appropriate name for your workflow over here. Okay, and then if you click finish, you can then see that your workflow would be shown over here, whatever you have created, right? So now all you have to do is to double click your workflow over here, the name of the workflow over here, and a blank sheet would appear over here. Okay, in your editing area, we can call this as an editing area. This is where you can create your workflows. Okay, so the objective of this particular tutorial, or you can say this particular demonstration, is to just get you known to this software, about what is where. Okay, so I mean, just to get you started with how do we use this NIME environment for creating workflows. Okay, so what version that I am using over here is quite older one. It is something 3.3 version. And if you are working at Bioinformatics Center, University of Pune, I will probably give you this version, because I have already downloaded and installed all of the nodes that are usually required for bioinformatics purposes as such. So first, let me tell you what are the things over here, so that it would be easier for you to appreciate what is going on. So this is where you will be creating your workflow. And if there are 20 or 50 nodes, and then it becomes difficult to keep track of what is connected where as such in your workflow. So in this outline box, it will provide you as to what is the topology of your workflow right now. Okay, and this would be the zoomed view, you can say. Okay, so here you have got this NIME Explorer, wherein you can see what are the different workflows that you have been recently working. Okay, and this is something called as the node repository. Okay, and in your node repository, you have some whatever nodes you have installed, as well as generic NIME nodes that comes by default when you install NIME, are located over here. And as you can see that there are various nodes in your node repository. Okay, over here you have got basic nodes for reading input, what we call it as input and output nodes, wherein you can read the file as an input, you can write the file as output. Okay, then you have got some nodes for database connectivity and reading and writing files into databases. And you have got some other data types, like you have got nodes for network. Okay, okay, nodes related to network and network mining, hierarchy extractor, and a lot more things those can be done. So far the network is concerned, these nodes are very important when you want to develop workflows that are related to systems biology. Okay, so then you have got if you are working on XML scripting and everything, so structured data is where you might be looking for. Okay, XML reader, XML writer. Okay, so these are the nodes you can use for that. For advanced scripting, I have downloaded a few if you want to do advanced scripting in Java, Python, or R, I have kind of made sure that you have everything over here, right? So you can use this Python predictor, Python learner, Python object writer, Python object reader. Okay, so similarly we have got values, I mean a few nodes for R, which you might find it interesting to use. Okay, So we won't go in more details of this scripting and importing data and exporting data and XML file format, because those are very advanced features that you might learn once you know how to work with simple workflows as such. So in this particular session, I would just let you know as to how can you create a basic workflow, okay, and how do things work, and how you can give input, and after the workflow finishes its job, how from where you can obtain the output. Okay, so I would just tell you as to we would be working on chemical data. Okay, and I would just show you a typical how do you generate a typical workflow which is related to chemoinformatics. Okay, and let me show you first as to how where are the different nodes that we might require. Okay, so whatever extra node that you would download, it will be mostly be located in this community node section. Okay, so in this community node section, I have downloaded a lot of nodes that a lot of node repositories that you might be interested in. So we would be using nodes from this chemistry development kit. Okay, so if you click it, there are a lot of nodes that you would be using over here from. Okay, and I would just let you know as to when and how do we use it. So besides this, if you are performing some sequence analysis stuff, or if you are doing some NGS related activities, then I have also downloaded these nodes that are related to input and output so far your NGS data is concerned. Okay, FastQC reader and FastQ writer if you want to give input, or SAM reader, BAM reader. Okay, then you can perform this I mean position structure and stuff like that. Okay, uh, so these are the nodes that I think you would find out interesting if you are working on NGS. I have done that thing as well. Okay, you can perform reading and mapping. You have got aligners over here, bow tie 2 and related aligners. SAM to BAM manipulation you can do over here. Okay, you can perform SNP calling using this particular node. Okay, you can use this VCF to BCF conversion. Okay, you can use this particular node. Okay, then another important set of nodes that are that are most probably used in chemical data information are in this CDK kit. Okay, you have got a lot of converters over here. You have got you can perform fingerprint analysis, you can perform fragment based searching. Okay, you can develop reactions and stuff like that. Okay, so I would if you are working in bioinformatics, then I would advise you to explore all of these nodes. Okay, you can perform sequence using T coffee, sequence alignment using T coffee. Okay, I hope you remember what T coffee is. You can perform such phylogenetic tree reconstruction using this particular node. If you are working in metagenomics, then this is what you might be interested in. If you want to perform local alignment, we have got this stellar as a node. Okay, well, say if you are interested in doing, you know uh, say extraction of information from PDB. Okay, then you have got this PDB tools in this Vernalis node repository. Okay, you can connect to the PDB database. You can download various various information. You can connect to the PDB using XML query builder and do very complicated searches without any human interventions. So that is the basic objective of creating workflows, so that it would enable you to just use this hit button, execute all executable nodes, and all the downloads and everything, that task would be done by this nine. Okay, so my general advice is that you people might want to really check into what are different nodes that are available in this node repository, and specifically in this community node section. Okay, so well, without any further delay, let us start out creating a new workflow. Okay, so first what we will do, the objective of this workflow is that we would take an input SDF file. Well, say for example, this SDF file have more than 2000 molecules in it. Okay, and then our objective is that we would like to calculate the different molecular properties or molecular descriptors of whatever 2000 molecules that are present in your SDF file. Okay, so that is what the ultimate objective is. Take an input any SDF file. Okay, calculate some interesting descriptors for the molecules that are present in that SDF file, and we would save those calculated descriptors in, say some spreadsheet, and we would export that spreadsheet so that you can analyze whatever data you have created. Okay, so for doing this we would require a node that would read the SDF file. Okay, so this is very handy feature of NIME over here. Okay, we have a node called as SDF reader. Okay, so if you kind of search it over here, it will show you that what node it is. So now it is present in this chemistry node repository. In this input output section there is SDF reader node. So you can, all you need to do is to just drag and drop it. Okay, so now if you want to know as to what this node does, you can read its documentation which is shown over here. Okay, I will just hide it out. It is not responding properly. Okay, so if you double click it, okay, it will show you some property. We'll come to that in a while. Okay, so this particular node in your workflow will well, this particular node will be responsible for reading the SDF file or taking the input SDF file. Okay, and now as you can see there is a caution mark over here. Okay, so this caution mark comes or it appears or it pops up when there is something wrong with this node, or you have not configured this node properly. Okay, so we will come to configuring and properly providing the input to your node just in a while, but let us create a kind of workflow initially. Okay, and then we would see how do we configure the nodes. Okay, so once you create a workflow, then you might want to configure the nodes that are present in your workflow, and after configuring your workflow properly, then you can execute your workflow. That is also done in the same workflow environment, NIME workflow environment. Okay, so there is a now our objective is that once we read the molecules from this node, we would want to, we would want to calculate different descriptors that are present in the molecules that we have just imported. For that, there is a specific node that I remember. It is called as molecular property. Yes, yes, molecular properties is the node that we might want to use for calculating all the descriptors that might be that we are interested in. And now you can see that this molecular property is a part of this uh, chemistry development kit uh, node repository. uh, so if you are using any node from chemistry development kit, well, your chemistry development kit nodes like this molecular property, well, it don't directly take input from your SDF reader. It would require certain another node called as molecule to CDK. Okay, this is what is needed. So we would require this intermediary node called as molecule to CDK. So this molecule to CDK node will convert the elements that are present in your original SDF file in one of the input tables column into an internal format called as CDK cell. Okay, so this particular node will read all of the molecules that are present in SDF file, okay, and it will convert into its own internal format called as CDK cell. Okay, so what it will do is that it will convert all of the data that is present in your SDF file into a string representation like smiles or inches. Okay, and this data will be subsequently used by different nodes that are present that are offered in your CDK. So in this case, uh, your input file that is present in SDF format, this molecule to CDK will convert that information into string representation, and that string representation information would be given to your molecular properties node, and this molecular properties nodes then will calculate all the descriptors that you are interested in. Okay, so now one thing that you should note is that there are three lights over here. Okay, so currently it is showing this red light. That means it is not ready to be used. Okay, so when the node becomes ready to be used, it would turn to yellow, and when it is being executed, it would turn into green. Okay, so currently it is not ready to be used because we have not yet configured it. So here we have the third node in our workflow. The once we have calculated all of the descriptors or all of the interesting molecular properties, we would need another node that would save that information in a spreadsheet so that you can visualize it later in your Excel file, or maybe if you have that information in spreadsheet, you can directly import that into MySQL database. Things can work that way as well. Okay, so for doing that, we would have to search for another node that can be used for interactive plotting as well. Okay, so interactive table, yes, this can be used. Interactive table can be used for you know taking all the descriptors from the previous node, and we would save it in some spreadsheet form. Okay, so now let us try to connect this node. The data would flow from SDF reader to molecule to CDK. Okay, From molecule to CDK, the data would be flowing to this molecular properties, and from this molecular properties we would take we would pass on the data to interactive table, and from this interactive table we would export whatever we have done. So this is the basic topology of a simple workflow. Okay, well, now once you have created this workflow, now it's time for you to configure that workflow. Okay, so to configure, all you need to do is to right click over here on any node, and we would start configuring this first node. Okay, so this would ask you as to where your input file is. Okay, you would have to tell this node or give the path to your input file. Okay, so let me give you the path to the input file. Okay, so I already have this. We would use this ligand info subset 11.sdf file. Okay, and then there are different options that you can use over here, whether you want to extract the molecule name, or you want to perform some another setting. Okay, for time being we would keep it all to default. Okay, I would hit this apply button and then this okay button. Okay, so now do you see now that initially it was red, now it has turned to yellow. That means the nodes are ready to be executed now. Okay, so of course we would also want to configure this molecular properties node. Okay, so if you configure this molecular properties node, you would see that these are different descriptors or different properties that can be calculated using this node. Okay, so what you need to do is that you need to use this add all buttons, so that we would be calculating all of the molecular properties that are offered by this node. Okay, so once you do this, we would apply and use OK, right? So everything is set now. So all we need to do is to run this execute all executable nodes button. Okay, so what you can do is that you can while you are kind of configuring and testing your workflow, you can see if individual node works properly or not using this particular button. Okay, so this button would allow you to execute some selected nodes. Okay, if you want to see if SDF reader is working properly or not, if you want to see if molecule to CDK is properly working or not. So if you want to execute a single node, you would be using this button, and when you are satisfied that everything is fine and everything works properly, then you can use this execute all nodes. So that now what will happen, the data flow would be something like this. We have already we have already mentioned in this node as to where that input file is. This SDF reader will read all the molecules in your input file. It will convert it into strings data. Okay, this string data would then be passed on to the molecular properties node. It will compute all the descriptors. Whatever descriptor it has computed, it will pass on to this interactive table, and things won't stop. Okay, so once you give input to this node, you would get output in this interactive table node as such. Okay, so all you have to do is to hit this execute all button, then it will show as to what is the status of what is happening at each particular node, and which node is in queue, which node is working. It will kind of show you that information. Okay, so when I hit execute all, it is now importing the molecules. All these nodes are queued. Once it is done, it is showing that it is green. Okay, and now from this molecule to CDK, this particular molecular property node is doing its task. Okay, so it would also show you as to how much I mean what is the percentage of task that has been done. Okay, so now we are calculating properties of say some 2300 molecules, so it won't take much time. So I have kind of designed this small workflow so that it would complete it in a given time frame. Okay, once it calculate all the molecular properties, now this node is still present in queue. Once the 100% of the job is done, the same data would be transferred to your interactive table node. Yes, it is about to finish. My computer is not handling this heavy software properly, so it might take some time. You need to be patient. Come on. It is hanged. Maybe we will have to wait till the program responds. Yes, yes, it's done now. Well, it took no time to pass on to the information from molecular properties to interactive table. This computation of molecular properties was a time consuming task in our workflow, right? My computer is still recovering from the. Okay, now you can right click on any of the node. Okay, so you can then see as to what this node has done. Okay, so say for example, if you want to see uh, what this SDF reader has done in this workflow, you can right click and click on this read molecule. Okay, a new dialog box would open up and it will show you as to how many molecules it has imported in your NIME workflow environment. Okay, so here it is what it has done, and it has also extracted the 2D structure. Okay, so here is what it has read. So each row would correspond to a single molecule. Okay, and if you scroll down, there are some 2343 rows. That means we were working on say some 2000 small molecules. Okay, so it has successfully imported. Okay, now let us see what properties it has calculated. You can click on this molecular properties. Okay, then you can see this input with calculated properties option. Okay, so this is what it has done. Okay, it has calculated a log p values for the given set of compounds, then b cut descriptors, then hydrogen bond donors, hydrogen bond acceptor, vbac, petagen number, lipinski's violation, right, and many more, right? So this is what it has done. Okay, and it has passed on this information to this interactive table, and from this interactive table, well, we can export our data. Okay, you can right click over here and click on this view table view. So it will show you everything in interactive table view, and if you want to export this data, what you can do is that you can go to this output and you can select this write CSV option over here. Then it will ask you as to what is the where is that you want to save your file, or what would be the name of your file where data will be stored. Just use this browse button. It has hanged once more. Maybe I need to, yes, I need to really format my PC once. Is this desktop? I will show. I have already saved it to desktop. With this I will give some name. Okay, and save it. Finally, if you click on this OK button, it will show that everything has been exported to the given file. Okay, so here is how things are. Okay, and you can now open this comma separated value file in any of the spreadsheet application. Well, most popular spreadsheet application are in form of your Microsoft Excel, or if you want to build a database of properties of given compounds, then maybe you can directly export this comma separated value in MySQL, create a table out of it. You can do the same thing in your NIME workflow environment as well. Well, let us see how things are exported over there. Okay, by the time it opens up, well, let me show you that this was just a basic example of a small workflow. Okay, as to how do we set up the workflow, how do we search for nodes, where do you search for nodes, how do you, I mean, once you figured out, okay, this is the node that I want to use, how do we drag and drop it into your workflow environment. Okay, and then use it use it for a particular purpose, right? So over here, I will be giving you, what is it doing? It says some genomics lecture is going on. I don't want to attend it. Okay, to get a feel of as to how powerful this software is, I would just show you one of the application paper that has been published recently, that has used this workflows using this NIME, and it has kind of used it for drug repurposing. Okay, and it was published in a very reputed journal called as Journal of Chemoinformatics. Okay, so what I have done is that I have downloaded this paper, and these people have also shared their workflow on GitHub. Okay, so I have downloaded their data as well. So what I would suggest to you people, or what I would advise to you people, is that you go through this paper once. Okay, and we also have the data that has been presented in this paper. You can use that data for for reproducing what these people have done. Okay, so that would give you a kind of idea. Okay, so here it is, your molecular descriptor data is ready. Okay, so this is the name of your compound, this is the smiles of your compound. Okay, this is the smiles of your compound, this is a log p value. Okay, and these are different interesting properties. Well, say for example, you might be familiar with this hydrogen bond acceptors. How many hydrogen bond acceptors are there, how many hydrogen bond donors are there. Okay, how many rotatable bonds are there. Okay, how many Lipinski's rule have been violated by this compound. It is shown over here. Okay, and it has calculated a lot of properties, so you can kind of use these descriptors in calculating your QSAR model as well. Okay, so here is the paper that I was talking about. Okay, and this paper is with title ligand based computational drug repurposing pipeline using NIME and programmatic data access. Okay, so it will give you a kind of idea as to how different nodes from this NIME workflow environment can be used for the purpose of drug repurposing. Okay, and they have done with taking example of COVID-19. Okay, so I would advise you people that you read this paper very carefully. Okay, and they have, in this paper these people have used recent version of NIME. So you might want to download the recent version, you might want to download the nodes repository that are mentioned over here. Okay, and that would be a good learning experience for you. Okay, so as to if you begin with something new, how can you download new nodes and how can you install those new nodes and use them appropriately. Okay, and mind you that each and every node has got its own kind of description online as well. Okay, so here is the data that I have downloaded this uh, in this folder. I will share this with you as well. Okay, and these are the two workflows that these guys have created. Okay, so just load this workflow in your NIME workflow environment. Okay, and check out all of the details of as to how these things works in detail. So well, this is a kind of assignment for you. Okay, so this is assignment number 1. I have also given you some simple assignments that I will share you with your Google Drive. Okay, do perform those assignments, explore this paper as well, and try to learn how these workflows work. Okay, so this is all I have got for you people today. Okay, so I am stopping my presentation now.